some version of that to me. It's usually because I simply spoke up or was excited to share something, and apparently introverts don't do that. Here's the thing: I am an introvert, a selectively social one. I love people, I love deep conversations in moderation. Okay. And for 15 years, I worked as a server, a job that is brutally demanding on an introvert's energy. But that job didn't change who I was. It taught me a vital lesson: how to be visible and engaging without completely draining my battery. So, hey, welcome in to the visibility shift, y'all. For those who are new to me, my name is Crystal Pope, and I am a visibility strategist. I work with wellness practitioners and guides to help them become known and referred in their industry in ways that feel energizing instead of exhausting. And so let's get back to that server story because today I want to talk about being an introvert and how that can show up and look so many different ways. And how, whether you're an introvert or not, there are ways that can be better for you to show up so that way you don't feel depleted, so that way you don't feel fake, so that you can actually be consistent when it comes to your business. And I'm so excited to share that with you. And so, as I was saying, being a server, I didn't let that job change who I am. Some things that I would do is to better align with my energy is I would rest and recharge on my off days. Which sounds simple enough, but how many of you all save all your errands, save everything to when you're off, and then you feel tired because you did all that work, you worked throughout the week, and then it's like never really a time to really be chill. And so I would, the good thing about being a server is different hours. So I would muster up the strength to do my errands on my work days. So if I worked at night, which I mainly did, I would do my errands in the morning, all that good stuff. So that way on my off days, they were actually mine. I would want to wear fun jewelry like this so that folks started conversations with me in a friendly and excited way. So that was really cool. It helped reduce the need of those awkward icebreakers. I would stay informed and prepared things to chat with guests about. I spent a lot of my time working at hotels, so being able to recommend cool spots and events was clutch. And by preparing beforehand, I didn't have to come to a blank mind on things to say. It happens. You're like, I don't know what to talk about, especially when it comes to small talk. So this preparation really helped me. And also didn't try to be someone I'm not. For instance, I'm not a big sports person. And so even when I worked at a brewery, I worked at two breweries. I didn't pretend that I was a sports person, right? I would be honest and lean into curiosity instead. Who are you cheering for and why? You know, and go from there. All in all, that role taught me that visibility isn't about being loud or performing, it's about having a system. And that's what we're talking about today. Because if you're a wellness practitioner or guide, you've probably felt that same drain. You know that you need to be visible to get clients. But when you try the standard be everywhere all at once advice, it feels like wearing a costume. It's exhausting, right? And so the problem isn't you. The problem is you're using a strategy that's not built for your natural strengths. And so today I want to talk to you about how to find yours, how to find your natural strengths by going through the four E's for visibility styles. And as we go through each of them, I want you to tell me like which one feels most like you. Before I do, though, I want to quickly speak to those who feel like they don't need to think about their visibility because they have an abundance of word of mouth and referrals. These methods are great when they're flowing, but when they start to dry up, then what? And so, even when they are going fine, they still take visibility to maintain. Here's what I mean. Let's say someone refers you for a Reiki massage, right? While many will just go off their friends' words, others are going to want to check you out first. They're going to Google you. They're going to look at your Instagram, maybe even check out some of your reviews if they can find them. And so, what are they going to find? A blank page, an outdated website, or will they find you? The best version of you, the best version of your voice, your approach, your energy. That's where strategic visibility comes in. It's not about being everywhere. It's about showing up in ways that feel natural to you, so that when people look you up, they see the real you. And that is so important in this wellness industry. People need to know that they can trust in you, and they want to know what they're getting into. And so, just wanted to add that quick disclaimer because I know that comes up a lot. Okay, now let's get into these styles. So, the first one I want to talk about is for those who prefer writing, those who prefer to communicate through the written language, right? I call these people word weavers. And so, as I go through each style, I want to break down how you can leverage these styles online and off. Because what I find is when people start talking about visibility, they immediately go to online and social media, which is a great place to amplify and build your visibility. However, it is not the only place, right? I know it seems like so long ago, but before social media, before the internet, businesses were booming, businesses were thriving, right? And so, excuse me, there are ways to build a thriving business online and off. I like to mash up the two because that gets you, in my opinion, the most for your bang. So yeah, so back to word weaver, those who naturally communicate through words. When it comes to online, this can look like you blogging. This can look like email newsletters, right? This can look like leveraging long form social platforms such as LinkedIn, even threads, things of that nature, things that still appreciate text, platforms that still appreciate text based posts. Substack is another amazing platform for word weavers that I love. And then when it comes to offline, this can look like renting. I said renting. This can look like writing for a print magazine, whether that's your own or someone else's. This can look like writing a physical book. This can look like something fun, like creating a card deck. I'm a sucker. I love those card decks with all the cool questions, whether it's for yourself, for prompting, or it is to have conversations with your family, friends, and loved ones to get to know them better. That is something that you can do. Handwritten thank you notes. This is something so very simple, but I know I enjoy a good handwritten note. I have some small businesses that I like to frequent and purchase from, and I keep most of the handwritten notes that I get from these businesses because I just love that element. So if this sounds like you, drop a word weaver in the comments and let me know. I'm curious. And so the next easeful visibility style is for those who are the yappers, the talkers, right? I call this natural talkers. These are people who express themselves best, typically through conversations, whether with others or themselves, just speaking it out loud, right? And so online, this can look like having a podcast, being a podcast guest. This can look like voiceover videos, using your voice in that way. When it comes to offline, this can look like speaking engagements. This can look like doing workshops, Q&As, panels, those kind of things. It can also be as simple as creating voice notes, creating voice-based um, educational content like courses. It doesn't always have to be a PDF. It doesn't always have to be a video. You can provide education through audio as well. And so, if this sounds like you, drop natural talker in the comments. I want to know. I want to know. The third ease of visibility style is for those who prefer to express themselves through graphics and art and video, maybe not necessarily with them in the frame, but video all the same, right? These are the visual storytellers. And so online, This looks like people who create those amazing carousels or love to drop the mini the photo dumps. This looks like people who like to do the quotes, the graphics, more text-based reels, right? That's some ways that it looks like online. It's also like photos. Again, this can look like videos, expressing yourself through a video, whether you're in the frame or not. Offline visual storytellers. This looks like murals. If you are an artist, as a wellness provider, this can also look like putting on some type of event where you're creating an experience where people are able to interact that way. This can look like offline. This can also look like physical physical items that allow people. I even think like I'm someone, my name is Crystal, I love crystals, right? Being able to express yourself, tell stories, tell the benefits through what you have, even how you are expressing yourself. How did I for like, this is the one that was on my mind, but your fashion expression, right? That's what I was doing and talking about as a server. How are you showing up in physical places, right? Whether that is what you're wearing or your accessories. There is a sound healer that I really love, and she has these beautiful black sound bowls. And typically you don't see that. And so that makes an impression. That is something that tends to stand out from the more typical crystal clear white sound bowls that you might see, right? And so, if this sounds like you, drop visual storyteller in the comments and let me know. And before I get into the fourth and final easel visibility style, I want to check in. Is this framework making sense? Are you starting to see yourself in any of these styles? If you have any questions so far, please drop them in the chat. There is a bit of a lag, so I want to make sure I see them. I'm going to answer them at the end. And so, if you have questions, go ahead and start sharing them now. But I'm hoping that this is starting to give you an idea of ways that you can express yourself, you can share your business, you can promote yourself in ways that feel better than what you've been doing. All right. For the final style that I want to talk about is for those who prefer those relationship type of communication, that prefer, I call it community builder, right? So these are the people who love to be in community, whether that is joining lots of groups or organizing their own, right? So online, this looks like being in Facebook groups, being on school and joining communities there. This looks like talking to people in the comments, in the forums, in DMs, right? Connecting and not only chatting but connecting people, right? Connecting people with resources, connecting people with your products, your services, maybe content that you created, maybe someone that you know that can help them with something that they're going through, right? Offline, pretty similar, but in person, right? What type of events are you going to? Community events, networking events, learning events. What kind of spaces are you putting yourself in? So that way you are either learning about your audience or in that same environment as them. So that way you can serve them, right? And so, if this sounds like you, drop community builder in the comments. Again, I am really excited to hear how you all identify and what stands out for you. All right, now it is time for questions. So, give me a moment. I'm going to check the chat to see if there's any questions going. Let me make sure everything. So, I'm going to look on. Oh, no. Okay, I am live on YouTube. Hopefully it's not echo. Oh, here we go. All righty. I'm streaming live on a couple of platforms, you all. So thank you for your patience while I take a look and make sure. And even if and no questions coming to mind right now, feel free to leave them in the chat. I will definitely look at them in the replay. Here we go. Okay, awesome. All right. Okay, so I'm not seeing any questions so far. Actually, I'm going to check on Substack because that one is set up just a little bit differently. There I am. Okay, cool. All right, y'all. So, again, if you have anything while you're any questions that come up while you're watching the replay, please leave them. I will definitely be watching them. So, all that to say is, which style are you? The beauty of this, and something I want you to keep in mind, is that you don't have to be just one, but you're most likely going to have a dominant style that feels the most easeful. The key is to stop trying to force styles that isn't you, and instead build your entire visibility system around the one that is, at least to start. And then you're going to get the confidence to branch out to more and more, right? Even if that's something that you want to do, right? I get a lot of people that they want to do video. They feel like that might be the best way for them. So they're feeling like maybe I am a virtual, a visual storyteller. And they're feeling like that could be the route for them. But truly, they're a word weaver. And that's okay. That's who you are, right? And that doesn't mean that you can't explore other styles and do things in that area. However, if the fact that you want to do video but you're not because you're overthinking and then you're not even getting anything out, right? Like, you don't want that to be a reason that stops you, right? And so if you're finding that is happening, that's why you want to go and find that dominant easeful visibility style, so that way you have a solid starting point. Okay. So if you found this valuable and ready to go deeper, I have a couple ways for you to do that right now. The first is, if you want to start applying this with a community of peers, I invite you to join our free community, the Easeful Visibility Collective. It is where we have these conversations around easeful, sustainable visibility, and it continues every day. And if you are someone um, And if you're someone who is ready to get personal, strategic eyes on your business and build a clear 30-day plan based on your unique style, then my visibility focus session is your next step. You can learn about both of these on my website, easefulvisibility.com. And thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Um, I, I, I love sharing these different tips and tools. I want more people to show up, so that way people can find them in the wellness space, so people can feel better about themselves, right? And to really be able to be their true selves because they are pouring into themselves. And so I know that you Reiki masters, I know you sound healers, I know you estheticians, I know you movement people, I know you all have amazing gifts to bring to the world, and I just want the right people to find you, right? And so, bye for now. But until next time, remember, it's never too late to get out of your head and in front of your audience. Someone is